Hello and welcome to my Idea Folio for Lesson 4 for TEL 313. My name is Abigail Matson and the title of my presentation is A Technology-Infused Classroom. The inquiry question for Lesson 4 was, what impact does a personal device have on the learners in your future workplace? How does this collaboration look throughout the learning process? And what impact does having a personal device have on my learner's process and or final product? For this question, I chose to consider what it would look like to have personal devices in every aspect of my future classroom. I hope to be a literacy specialist someday and to be able to teach kids who are struggling with reading how they can successfully gain the grade levels of reading back so that they're fluent readers. I decided that I was going to consider all of the personal devices that I could use in my classroom during one typical week of school. During Lesson 4, I read a lot of articles through the Blackboard course shell about different personal devices and the benefits and the negatives of having them in the classroom. And so I'd like to show what I will try to do one week if I had a totally technology-infused classroom. Students would have the opportunity to bring their own personal devices to school, and my hope would be that the school would also provide us access to Google Chromebooks and to Apple iPads as well. So this is a summary of my lesson plans for 1 week of school, and it's geared toward a 4th or 5th grade age level, and many of the students may be at a 2nd or 3rd grade reading level. On Monday, my students would start their first assignment by opening up their iPads and looking in the Edmodo app. There's a weekly calendar there, and I, as the teacher, can upload all their assignments and their projects for the week to Edmodo. Their second assignment would be to use an iPad or a smartphone and to use some kind of an application to answer a weekly question from our classroom poll. They would need to use 3 to 5 sentences to practice reading and writing. And their third assignment would be to read a short story out loud through the Marco Polo app, which is a video app from their iPad or smartphone. On Tuesday, they would again check their weekly calendar through Edmodo. Then next, they would complete 2 levels of the Lexia literacy program. You can see the picture on the right side of the screen using an iPad or a Google Chromebook. And their third assignment would be to organize a storyboard to create a new adventure for Harry the dog. They would use an iPad or a smartphone for the third assignment. On Wednesday, they would complete 2 levels of Lexia when they first came to my classroom. Their second assignment would be to read a Create Your Own Adventure story, and I would hope that some kids would bring their Kindles or Nooks and other e-readers. They would also listen to a song on their iPod and read the lyrics to practice comprehension and fluency skills, and then answer the poll questions through a technological app. On Thursday, they'd check their weekly progress. They would use Google Docs through a smartphone or iPad. They'd also do Lexia. On Friday, they would use the GroupMe collaboration app to check with their partner for their project about Harry the dog. They would respond to a post on our Twidgicate group feed using their smartphone or iPad. They would include 3 words from a different language using Duolingo, or a handheld translator, which is another personal device some of my students may have. And I also want to work with students who English is their second language, so Duolingo or a handheld translator would be useful in our classroom. And then they would record a movie using the script they had written through the week. So I read a couple of articles from the Blackboard course shell, and one article said that 3 of the potential benefits of 101 programs are that you'll have more engaged learners, better technology skills, and cost efficiencies for the school because you won't have to spend so much on paper, books, pencils, etc. And then from my case study, 3 strategies I could use to include iPads in my classes were to use the iPads to reinforce skills the students already had, or to use iPads for cooperative learning activities, or to use them as digital text. So these are the references to my case study and to an article I found just for this Idea Folio project, and to one of the articles from Lesson 4 on Blackboard. And then these are my media citations for all the pictures that I used in my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the Idea Folio.